Welcome back, my butterfly kaleidoscope, to One Hook, Two Hands. This is Sarah, the creator behind One Hook, Two Hands, and today we are going to go to Blanketland and talk about the elephant in the room, literally, of how many blankets I've started and not finished and moving forward. So if you are new here, welcome. I do like to call my subscribers butterflies because butterflies represent hope and joy to me, and each and one of you bring me hope and joy every day. So I'm glad that you've taken some time to stop and listen to this. And I call it a kaleidoscope because when butterflies land and take off in groups, that is the formation that they travel in. So if you do like this video, feel free to flutter on down to that like button. Or if you really like this video and want to see more like it, feel free to land over on the subscribe button. I would be very grateful. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. When I do, I will do a 500 giveaway. I've already got most of what I'm going to be giving away, which I will share in another video, but I am super excited. I've shared it a couple times. I've got a really cute butterfly book bag, a blanket, and then some smaller plushies, I think. Oh, 2 smaller plushies in a bag. So that's kind of a bag that I've made. So that's kind of what we'll be giving away. But that is when we reach 500. We are around 260 right now, and I just want to say thank you to all who've kept the channel going while I've been sick with my chronic illness. For those of you who are new here, I am a spoonie, which means I have a chronic illness. I have a rare one called autoimmune autonomic sensory small fiber neuropathy. Because of the abbreviation would probably get dinged by YouTube, I'm not saying it out loud, but the abbreviation is ASSFN. For so many reasons, I feel like I'd get banned by YouTube if I said that out loud. But it is March is Autoimmune Awareness Month, so if you are another autoimmune spoonie with me, y'all take care of yourselves, love yourselves, take care of yourself in any way you need to. And like my shirt says, make your immune system great again. I am currently having to advocate really hard for myself in getting treatment because the only kind of treatment for my disease, because my disease does not have a diagnosis code, I'm having to try to fight to get that diagnosis code and to get help. So, and if you've been with me, you know that already. If you're new here, it's a part of it. But again, I just want to say thank you for everybody who supported and liked the shorts and kept watching stuff while I was going through my flare-up, because it was really bad, y'all. And you guys just gave me hope by continuing to like things while I was gone. So I'm very grateful for that. I am sorry that I missed one of our Thursday Stitch Away crochet videos, but I will be back to that this week, which will be coming out tomorrow because this is coming out on Wednesday. So please look out for that. I also actually did a Monday video, yay, finally, and we'll please go over and watch. I'm going to try to start doing my Granny Square videos again on Monday, so please go over and watch those. Now to today's stuff. Today let's talk about Blanketland, because Blanketland lives next to Sweatersville, and they both have, there's also the roaring metropolis of Amigurumi, Apex, and Bag City. So I'm trying to like work through all of this, and I've been cleaning my house and organizing because I've started to feel a little bit better, and the flare medication's working really well, which is the first one we found in 5 years that works. And because it's worked well, I've actually done some cleaning and some organizing. Hence how fast I'm talking. So guys, I do apologize. But all that to say is I am trying to organize, and so I want to show you what I'm working on, kind of where I am. But yeah, let's talk about it. So, and I forgot my notebook that has the list of blankets. Bear with me. Promise, guys. Didn't mean to do that. But we are going to handle it. So, I'm back. Here we have my twice sheared sheep, lovely little binder that our friend Shannon over at Spoonie Stitcher recommended, And gosh, she was right. I love this thing, and it's really helped me to start to organize. So, blanket list. I have been working on lots of blankets, and yes, they are organized in their own containers. However, they've been everywhere, and I didn't realize how many I had started and then not done. So we're going to talk about them. And like I said, I'm trying to organize and be much more like, okay, this is what we're doing, and get through some of these. Because some of them are not that far off from being done. I just need to stay focused. So, first up. Now these will take a year to do because I'm doing it with our friend Teresa over at Critters Crochet. And that is her birthstone blanket, which this is my January's. So I got some yarn that I'm also testing and reviewing. And to do that, I've done 3 different types of hooks in the same size. And then I'm also going to do 2 in different sized hooks of my preferred favorite for this yarn. So I've got my this is the Furls eye hook version. This is my O-Fire hook version. I've got my Clover and More hook version blocking right now, and then I want to do a Clover and More G and H hook. Those are almost done, but they're not over here right now because they're on the hook. But I'm working through those. So eventually I'll have 5 of those. So our blanket count is 5 right there. Also, I am doing Teresa's members only scrappy blanket make along, which is turning out really pretty. I love this blanket, guys. It's already become a favorite. And one of the blankets that is just an idea but will be done is this part right here. I really liked, and this is called the strawberry lace stitch, and this one's called the crunch stitch. So I'm making a blanket, I'm designing a blanket with these 2 stitches called strawberry crunch. Yeah, I thought it was a cute name for it, but I'm making a strawberry crunch blanket because I thought that looks so cute. So 5, 6, and 7. Like I said, it's not started, but I am at least talking about it because it keeps living rent-free in my head. So that's 7 blankets so far. The next one up, and guys, this one's gonna be fun. So I've kind of got all my blankets over here and pile and organized a little bit at the moment. So I am trying to just like get it as we go. All right. So this is my birth year blanket. I'm doing a temperature blanket based on my birth year. However, I wanted it bigger than a 3x4 of these particular squares. So I'm making it 4x5, and I'm doing 8 what I call free space squares. All of them done in the linen stitch. And so each square has a center base in the same color as the edging, which is the stark purple, which is my favorite color. I'm a big purple girl. And the center has like 2 rows of the purple as well. And then depending on the month, obviously, it either has 30 or 31 days, except for February. And then at minimum 4 rows to take it up to the same row of edging. So, and this is my free space designed because I really liked this Paris. It's all done. Yeah, I really liked this Paris and June color paired with a forest green. I'd seen it in both this blanket before, and as well as when I was doing my temperature historical blanket for my parents' first year of marriage. And so I really like the way that turned out. So I wanted a full square like that, and I think it turned out pretty. And it's in the linen stitch. And guys, I love this cotton blanket. It's just so pretty and so comfortable. And so I'm excited about this one to have it done. I'm close, not quite, but I'm close. So that's my one pre-designed square that I've already gotten done. And then I've got many of my squares done. And I'm just gonna actually, instead of flipping them out, I'm gonna show you the stack and do little quick peeks of each square. Doosh. And this, like I said, it's all done, and I love this cotton by Hobby Lobby because I really do love this cotton. Oh, this is probably one of my favorites, guys. This one turned out so pretty. Just the colors in it, I was like, feels so autumny. I don't think it's an autumn month, but it turned out so pretty. And basically with these kinds of temperature blankets, on this particular one, you just do whichever color you've assigned to that temperature, you just do that for that day. And I do the highest of the temperatures because that's just the way I like to do it. I've got 3 more months to do, and then 7 more free spaces before I can start putting it together. But this one is relatively almost done. All right, and I've got all the yarn that goes with it in this container. So I feel really accomplished because it's all in its spot. Things being in its spot are nice. Next up, let's see. On the list, the next one up is my Granny Square Fall, and you guys have seen a variation of this where I made the smaller one. But I'm making a much bigger one to sew. Guys, the blankets are not cooperating, so just bear with me. I'm making a bigger one to sew. And as you know, I like my granny squares. But this is going to be like a king-sized granny square because it's still folded in half. There's still 3 more back here. It's going to be a 6x7 when it's all said and done. So, huge big granny square blanket, but simple. And if you watched one of my reels and you heard me with the, guys, I messed up the rows on one of them where I didn't do one of the color sets. Yeah, that was not a fun day. Because I worked for like an hour and a half on what I had done, and I had to undo all of them. That was fun. So that's the Granny Square Fall blanket that I'm working on. Let's bring this up here so I don't have to look so hard. The next one is what I call the Granny, or what is called the Granny Ripple blanket. It is actually, the pattern is from our friend Robin over at Hooked by Robin. And I have been working on this. This is just one that I made for myself because I've really realized I hadn't made a lot of things for myself, and then I started making a bunch of blankets for myself. So I've got a lot of blankets I'm making for me. But this is made out of Lion Brand yarn, ombre, well, they're mandalas, and then Yarnology's Dusty Purple. And it's turned out really pretty. And then I also have the like gray to black that I'm using for a couple of the rows, and then also to do the border when I get to border time. So there's that one. Again, another real simple, easy, fun blanket. And can you tell my favorite color is purple, guys? Because literally we're doing all the things purple. Let's see. So that's the ripple. And then next up we've got the Year of Healing Mood blanket, where I have done all of my squares based on my mood. So I was caught up, but February's kind of gotten away from me since I had the flare. So I've got September, October, November, December, January done. Or at least I've got the, like the, this part done. September and October I have the back, because if you haven't heard about this blanket, what I'm doing is I'm actually doing another, like I said, it's tracking my mood or my health instead of my, instead of the temperature each day. But when I first started making it, I was like, ooh, this feels a little bit like a weighted blanket. So then I decided to make it a weighted blanket, which means I have to make back squares, attach them and then put a zipper on them, which I'm in the process of doing that on the first one. See, process of putting a zipper on it. And then I'm also going to put snaps in it to snap the bag in, so hopefully the bag won't shift around too much. For the like beanie bags that I'm going to put that are going to have a little bit of weight to it to make it feel like a weighted blanket. So there's that. So I've got none of these squares actually fully finished, but I do have up through January crocheted. I need to work on February and now March, but I do have those done. So that's the mood blankets. Next up, we've got our 2 Sophie's Universe, and if you've been on Stitch Away Crochet, you have seen that. I am still at the place that I was right now with the square, getting ready to start turning the square. I hope to have more on this by the time we hit Thursday, y'all, so stay tuned. There's that one, and then I have a bigger one that that is done in acrylic. That one's done in cotton, because I love that cotton, y'all. But this is the bigger Brights one that once I hit the same row on the other one as this one, I'll be working on this at the same time, doing the 2 rows back to back. But this one is one of my older works in progress that I'm determined to get done this year. And thanks to Teresa for wanting to do Stitch Away Crochet, I feel a lot more optimistic about getting it done before the end of the year. So there's that one. Well, those 2. Let's see. I started this one as just kind of like a relaxed project, and I'm like, why did I start another blanket? But I'm doing another one of my virus blankets. If you've seen either one of my lives where I talked about baby blankets on this channel, and I'll put it down below, but I showed how to make this blanket, and it's just a simple mindless blanket, and I started it. Haven't done much on it, but I did technically start it, so it is a blanket to be done. And I'm using Premier Parfait Chunky for that particular blanket. But it's simple. It'll be a toddler. It should be about 4 feet by 4 feet with that one, with as many balls as I have by the time it's done. But it's just one you go over and over and over again, so it's a pretty simple one. Let's see. Then I have the Princess's Blanket. You guys have heard this already. You'll see more of this in our Granny Square book video, but this is one I am making for my niece, and her favorite color is pink, so all the pinks. And I'm teaching squares through that same book, so be on the lookout. They'll be back on Monday videos. I'm going to try to do several back-to-back so that way we don't have to, so if I do have a flare-up, we're all good. But I am working on the Princess's Blanket. Sorry, I was looking at my Sophie's Universe blanket. My apologies. The Princess's Blanket, and there'll be more videos coming out on Monday about granny squares. So there's that blanket. Let's see. I told you about the Strawberry Crunch blanket. One of the things I've not posted a lot about on this channel, but that I am getting ready to post more of, is I have really started learning how to do Tunisian crochet, and I'm loving it. Really, really love it. Learning a lot. It's really a great mindless crochet, and I've been working on this sampler blanket that has bunches of different stitches, and I was using it also to try out some of these Premier acrylic yarns that I got during their big sale at the end of the year last year, and I have really found I like Tunisian crochet. There's some stitches I like better than others, and I already have ideas about how to make things with them, but I really am enjoying it. And so this is my Tunisian sampler crochet blanket that I'm working on. I have a book, by the way, that comes from a book. That's not my own pattern, that's from a book. And once I feel a little bit more solid with Tunisian, I will start doing more videos on here about Tunisian because I like Tunisian crochet. Let's see. Then I have a baby blanket I'm working on. So this one's kind of cute. I'm using a pattern, like a very simple, this will take me a long time because it's very thin yarn. And what I'm doing is I'm actually using a very simple pattern, but I'm going to go in and layer different colors and kind of block it in a way where it'll look like there's this land, and then there's going to be a stream, and then some more hills, and then there's going to be sky and kind of like the sun, and yeah, so kind of make it look like a hilly scene. And so that's just a baby blanket I'm working on, and once I get that fully like blocked out, I will show you guys that. This is another idea blanket, but it came up during when I was talking to Shannon on one of her lives from the Spoony Stitcher, which is I am in the process of designing granny squares for August, which is Granny Square month, which I love because that's also my birth month. Of course, me, who loves granny squares, is born in the month of the granny square. But anyway, I am excited to be designing these squares, and it's going to be based around the musical The Six. If you don't know The Six is this idea of like all the wives of King Henry VIII decided to got into this girl band, and now they're auditioning to become the lead singer. And so they have great songs. I love it. Anna Clee's song is still my favorite. It's called Get Down. It's great. If you just need an empowerment song, go listen to Get Down by The Six. It's awesome. Guys, I'm just checking in to make sure the mic's still working. But I am designing a granny square for each of the 6 queens that is based on just colors. And then I'm doing some other ones. I may have 2 or 3 squares for each queen. You'll see what I mean. It's either going to be a blanket or a bag or both. I haven't quite figured out where I'm going with this yet. So I put it on the blankets because it started off as maybe it'll be a blanket of the 6, like a small blanket, but I don't know if it'll be a blanket now. You'll see what I mean when I start showing you the squares, but that's the thing. So there's the 6 blanket. I did not bring it over here, but I have a blanket that I am doing that is made up of my scrap yarn. If you've watched my video on how to do a Russian join and create a scrap ball or a magic 8 ball from all of your scrap yarns and like put them together, I've got a blanket that I've gone through 2 balls so far of scraps of yarn that I've joined together, and I've got a growing blanket of that, which is really cool looking. And so and that's another virus blanket. I also have plans to make a granny square Christmas blanket, which I feel like pretty much explains itself. Then I also have a West Virginia blanket I'm making for somebody that I love, that are these granny squares with circles in the center. And then I like to do the edging because I think it gives it a little bit more depth to the square. But yeah, this is going to be a blanket, a granny square blanket for my granny. And so I'm working on that right now. And then I also am making another scrap granny square blanket with all the yarn in this box, which is, I'm trying to use up all my yarn this year, guys. I know you've heard me say this a dozen times so far this year, and I don't know about you, but I'm somebody who's been given a bunch of yarn, and that's not necessarily the yarn I would go looking for a project that I would do myself. So I'm trying to use that yarn up. Well, I decided to make one really big granny square blanket. We'll see how big this gets, but my goal is to use up all this yarn to make that granny square blanket. We'll see what size it ends up being at the end of it, but there's that. So total count, 1, 2, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, something like 19, 20, 22 blankets. I lost count, guys. The deal is I'm making a lot of blankets. My goal is to get these done, and so you're gonna see a lot of videos of me working on short videos of me working on blankets, but this is where we are at the moment when it comes to my blankets, and hopefully we will get to the other side where blankets are done. Hopefully that is the goal by the end of the year. So this is our Wednesday works in progress video dealing with Blanketland. I will be coming back to you at some point to give an update from Sweatersville, and we'll see about the others. But as of right now, that's where we are in Blanketland. I hope you guys have a good day. Don't forget to flitter on down to like or subscribe, and have a good week. I love y'all. Bye.